The Nation Network presents Coming In Hot. Here are your hosts, Brent Wallace, Jason York, and Bobby Ryan.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Coming In Hot. I'm Brent Wallace alongside Jason York and Bobby Ryan, and it is the Sens dad trip. They are away in Dallas, so we have Jason York on the show.
Exactly, with my dad bod. This should be called the dad. This should be called the dad bod, right? Bob, you're starting to get a dad bod, aren't you?
So I had one my whole career.
Good point there. Well, you've always had one, bud. Well, you want, I don't know if you want to get into it, man, with the Japs, bud. You're coming in with a pea shooter here.
Listen, I work out 4 times a week now with Chris Schwartz.
Stop saying that, man. Schwartzy's not going to be happy you keep saying that.
Not the walking advertisement that he's looking for. Right?
Yeah. I'm going to start wearing his logo everywhere. By the way, it is the dad's trip. They're in Dallas. Dallas, by the way, last year is where they went on the it was their first road trip they had since COVID. Pierre Dorian goes into the room just before and says, guys, I know it's the rookie dinner, but please just don't do anything stupid. Just try to stay together, whatever. They all got COVID. That's where COVID started for the Sens last year. So Pierre was a little disappointed. He was like, guys, I asked you to do one little thing. That's where they got
that's tough. That's a tough one.
Oh, boy.
Oh, well. Yorkie, did you ever get into a dad's trip? Were they a thing when you were still playing?
Well, I'm trying to remember. I have for sure. Yeah, I did a couple. Nashville. I think Nashville was the team that started. Barry Trotz. You know Barry Trotz at all, Bobby? You ever cross paths with Trotzy? What a great dude. What a great dude. Like I tell you, and I always say this about Trotzy. He wasn't even that like X and O's systems. Just a great guy, a great human being. But he was a legend for always crying on the dad's trips. He'd make every guy get up and tell a story, and then Trotzy would break down in front of the entire team, and then everybody would get up and turn into a cry fest. And then it was, but that was just kind of guy he was. But yeah, no, I did one with Nashville. I did one in Boston as well. Brought my brother in Boston. My dad had passed away, so my older brother came with me, which was awesome. But no, they're fantastic. And by the way, that's not. I know we're going to get into this later. Zero chance that had anything to do with Ottawa coming out flat in that one. Zero chance.
Need somebody to blame.
I know. You got to blame somebody.
We'll see how today goes. By the way, so they did lose 5-2. After they have the 2-game winning streak. By the way, before I get sidetracked all the time, this show is brought to you by Renfrew Pro Tape. Go to renfrewpro.com. All the major retailers, as I keep saying. By the way, follow them on Instagram for weekly giveaways. renfrewpro.com. The ones with the green core, they are the worldwide leader in hockey tape. renfrewpro.com. Okay, boys. So they lose 5-2 against LA after the 2-game winning streak. And we said, hey, everything is great again. Don't worry. Then they had that game. And so the sky fell again. Is it just a blip, or is this just, Bobby, is this just the way the season is probably likely just to play out?
I think that's the best way to put it. This is just kind of the season that the Sens are going to have. They're going to have a couple more win streaks, right? 2-3 games of stringing things together, and then they're going to have that fall down. And that's number one, it's a young team, right? Number two is a team that systematically, can string it together, but then look like we like the defensive zone look like a train wreck again. I think that's just going to be the way the season goes, and we're going to have to find bright spots to talk about through some of these games.
Yeah, I Bobby 100% with 100%. Yeah, go ahead, Wally.
No, I was just going to say, was that game just goaltending? Cam Talbot made 5 saves, 14 shots. I think he had a .650 save percentage.
You know what? It's they didn't. It's one of these buzzword expressions. You didn't start on time, and I'm not much for buzzwords, but that game they weren't ready to play when the puck dropped. Bobby mentioned the D zone coverage, and I went back and watched both of those first goals in the game. you can't really blame the goaltender for those goals. It's just, it was really bad D zone coverage. The first one in particularly, just they get on the wrong side of the puck too much, and they let the other teams forwards get inside body position all the time. I watched it. The first goal wasn't Pinto's fault, but if there was a rebound after that shot, he was in horrible position defensively because the guy jumped right around him. And if you go back and watch that goal, you got two Los Angeles Kings right on the doorstep. Like, not only did they get the first look, they would have put the second one in too. So they really have to clean up the front of their net. And then the other goal, Bob, you talked about this the other day. I don't know what kind of coverage they're playing in their own zone right now. I watched Zaitsev drift all the way out to almost the top of the blue line. You know, when the high forward rolls out, Bobby, Kopitar rolled out, and I'm like, Zaitsev, why are you going out to the high blue line? I was just scratching my head, and then they ended up scoring on the back door, and Hamonic had a tough night, but a lot of guys did. They just didn't start on time. The D zone was horrific in the first little couple shifts, and all of a sudden you're chasing the game. So it's going to be like this all season until they do some kind of move where they bring in a veteran centerman or a veteran D. They need two. They need an older centerman. They need another D. If you want to stop these things from happening, you need to address those two positions. But why would you at this point right now, guys? Like, it is what it is. Damage has been done. This team's not making the playoffs. Get the young guys reps. Get the guys playing. Get the core more reps. Core is still really young, and just start building. Just building to play better hockey.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Everything you said, absolutely. There's no point. Help's not coming or going to get help. It just doesn't. It makes zero sense to go out and get it done. So, coming in hot's going to have a lot to talk about down the stretch.
Well, there's no shortage. I have 2 full pages today, but I'm coming back.
Of course,
Bobby,
of course you do.
I'm going to start with you. I'll never profess to know the game as a guy that never played it at your level. So, but the one thing I do know watching my kid play is to be on the right side of the puck. So how in God's green earth are players not on the right side of the puck in the NHL and this not be corrected for so long?
I got to think video sessions are really tough right now for some of these young guys that are learning the game at the NHL level and going through these growing pains. But like you said, it's taught to at a young age. They're just it doesn't. I don't know if they're incapable of doing it. But I'm going to guess that DJ Painter and Cap are all over it. And I don't know what practices are like, but I'm probably imagining that they're going to start really, really looking into the one-on-one battle drills down low. Whenever you see the practice plan and it's got that, you're like, oh no, here we go.
We're 4 years into this thing.
Hear about it. Hey man, I don't know. I was only there one. I'm out.
Yeah, but Wally, he's taking the fifth. Like, here's the thing. Okay, New Jersey's playing some pretty good hockey right now. We can all agree on that. Remember how bad they were their first, after all these guys got drafted in the first round? They were bad for a long time. Everyone's saying, well, why is Montreal so good right now? Why are they winning? Their defense is worse than Ottawa's right now. They should be winning hockey games. Well, those games that Nick Suzuki got to play in the playoffs, those meaningful hockey games, he wasn't good right away. But now he's got over 200 games. He's got way more experience playing the center ice position than a Timmy Stützle, than a Shane Pinto, than a Kastelik. They got Jake Evans, who's 26 years old. And don't forget, they brought in Christian Dvorak, who is a really good two-way center iceman. He's not going to put up a ton of points, but he's really responsible in his own zone. Hey, and guess what? This summer they went and picked up Sean Monahan. Everybody thinks Sean Monahan's 35 years old. The guy's still in his 20s. So he's another guy. Yeah. So I don't know, Bobby, compare that center ice position to what Ottawa has right now, and that's why Montreal's having a little, at least in my opinion, they're way more experienced down the middle. Yeah, absolutely. They picking up guys like that have been around, that have
plenty of reps with a lot of playoff games, like in Monahan's case. And then Suzuki kind of coming into his own over the last couple of years because he went through it a little bit for a year or two. I thought Monahan was 35 years old until you just said it. I had no clue that guy was still in his 20s. No clue.
I gotta Google it. He's not that old.
He's 28.
28.
Hey,
Oh,
I thought he was right.
Yeah.
I thought he was 35.
Yeah.
I'm only 28.
I like Yorkie and Bobby. I get it. I get your point of you have to go through and play meaningful games. Brady Tkachuk wasn't great in his first year, if you will, or he needed to get man strength. Tim Stützle moving. Understand? I get that. I don't understand how you guys tell me they don't know how to be on the right side of the puck. I don't fathom this in my brain.
It doesn't sound like anybody does, but it's the reality of the situation, right? Because it's so. I mean, guys get inside position every night, and the goals the other night are perfect examples of it. And I know we can sit here and talk about it, and I can't, but we can't make you understand because we can't either, right? We're all on the same page here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob,
All right,
Wally,
I'm moving on.
Wally, the only thing I can tell you, because people want answers, I feel like I'm Tom Cruise going against Jack. You want answers? It's the people want answers. You can't just jump into the NHL. And this was the thing. I'm in the summertime. This summer, people are like, Shane Pinto is going to be the number 2 center. Shane Pinto. You just don't arrive and become gift wrapped, ready to play in the National Hockey League. That's why guys come in, especially forwards that are centers, and they'll play on the wing for a while. Because it's so hard to jump in and place. It's so hard. So that's I'm going to go back to it again. Expectations that were set this summer for this hockey team were way off base. And that's when all this hoopla started happening with the Summer Pierre, with what they did. And they did some nice things. Like I love the Claude Giroux. DeBrincat was great to sell tickets. But they didn't address the real needs of what this hockey team needed. And fast forward to December, and we're talking about the draft again. So, to me, that's the biggest problem.
Yep. We are 25 games into the season, but I will say one of the problems with the Sens this year is losing Josh Norris. He played 5 games. By the way, Josh Norris, our guest on today's show. That's a huge void. Obviously, Shane Pinto wouldn't be talked about as a number 2 center. He'd be number 3. And I think, and as Bobby has pointed out, and I think you've pointed out, Yorkie, they slot much better in at those positions as 1, 2, and 3 as 100%. Opposed to Shane Pinto being at number 2. I get it. So, which leads me to my next question. It has to do with Josh Norris as well. The issue with the power play, it's playing really well. It's playing really well. It went 2 for 4 against LA. What do you do when Josh Norris comes back? So I'm going to point out to you, Josh Norris led the team last year in power play goals with 16. Which is the 4th best all-time for an Ottawa Senator. He's a 35 goal scorer. Does he just play on the second power play unit now with Claude Giroux? Bobby, you're a goal scorer. What's this do mentally for you?
I don't know the answer to what they're going to do with him. Honestly, I was thinking about it. It's a hard, because you don't want to mess up a good thing, and it's a good thing right now. And that's not to say that it will be a month from now or whatever it might be. I'm not putting a timeline on Josh. I'm just saying, but when he does come back, what does that look like? And if that unit's still rolling, you cannot. You can't move it up. You tell Josh, and Josh, as a pro, has to understand. Hey, you don't lose jobs to injury, but at this time, these guys are running. These guys are running, and you have to tell Josh professionally, we're going to get you right out there on the second unit, but we're not going to switch things up to put you in there. And, I guess let's cross that bridge when it comes, but you find a way to get him on the ice no matter what. You're going to have to, but he might very well start on that second unit.
You're sending Josh to the power kill, Bobby. He's going to the power kill.
Yeah, the power killers. Let's go out and kill the rest of this thing.
It's a tough. Who's in a tough position here is DJ, because he's got to make all these guys happy, and it's a lot easier to keep guys happy when you're making the playoffs, because now you're in a situation with DeBrincat, who's in the last year of his contract. He's got 6 goals. He's losing money by the day the longer this goes on for him. So, man, I go back to last year, the way this team was rolling, and I loved that unit of Brady, Batherson, Norris, Shabbat, and Stützle. I love the chemistry of particularly that Tkachuk unit, Bobby. It just seems like they have such a feel for one another, and looking forward to where this team wants to be. Like I look at, that's the core of your hockey club. That's going to be the future of your hockey club moving forward. To me, I would just want to keep feeding those guys reps. And then internally as an organization, they're really going to have to make a decision what they're going to do with Alex DeBrincat. If you're not going to be a playoff team, and can you convince him to take a lot less money? Probably not. This guy scored 40 goals a couple times. So to me, do I want to keep giving him all these looks? Or do I want to get ready to where this team needs to be, to where this team has to be? Josh Norris, 30 goal scorer. Man, that's I'd hate to be DJ in that position, keeping all those guys happy, wouldn't you, Bobby? That's tough. I'm looking forward to where this team needs to be, and I'm like, wow, how do you get a defenseman? DeBrincat would be such a nice chip if you are going to do a move like that to bring somebody in. So it's going to be interesting as we move forward here.
It is. Yeah, couldn't agree more.
I will point out, though, we talked about chemistry last year. Norris with 16 power play goals. Brady had 9, and Stützle had 7. They were the only players over 3 goals last year in the power play. This year, Shabbat has 4, Stützle has 4, Tkachuk has 4 already. DeBrincat, Pinto, both with 3 each. They are moving the puck around very well. So it is 6th overall. It's the second best power play on the road. There are positives. But boy, it just seems like if you leave a 35 goal scorer sitting on the bench, it's just tough to me. It doesn't make sense. And think of how many people have him in a pool.
You can't do it. Right? Yeah. Somebody's just waiting. He's sitting on the IR in somebody's pool. But it doesn't. But still, like you said, there are too many positives to upset the apple cart by throwing anybody else into it. You just let that thing roll, and then if you think about the DeBrincat situation, will change in the next 2 to 3 months, right? We're gonna see something change there, whether it's him moving as a chip to get something for the future or just to solidify the D. But a lot of what happens with Josh will center around him for the rest of the way too.
Absolutely. And speaking of Josh, he's coming up. We didn't ask him about the power play because there's a lot of questions I didn't want to throw out there, as you know, Bobby. And so 2 things if you're waiting in the interview. 1, we don't talk about where he's going to be on the power play. And 2, he updates his shoulder, but he doesn't give us a timeline because he just didn't really want to feel comfortable talking about it, which is fair because Josh hasn't spoken since the injury. But he does in our show today. And we let Jason fly back and be in what? Were you sitting back with your wife like you should do on your flight, unlike Bobby?
Oh no, it was a romantic trip. We got a lot of good stuff. So I didn't want to screw up all the nice points I built up. So we both bumped up for the way home in comfort. I had the bad back though. I had the bad back. Too much sitting around. So no, we bumped up. Nice trip home. Flew through Montreal, avoided the gong show, the shit show at Pearson Airport, man. Stay away from Pearson Airport. So, hey, you come through Pearson.
Hold on.
I have.
Save this topic until we come back from the Norris interview.
I don't want to. Okay.
Can't wait.
We're taking a little heat for this.
Again, we're sidetracked. So this show is always brought to you by BEI, Bonisher Excavating Inc. Go to BEI.com. They are the leaders in the Ottawa Valley. Give them a call, 613-432-1120 if you need any landscape, aggregate, stone. They will take care of you. They are helping to shape the Ottawa Valley. BEI, BonisherExcavating.com. All right, coming up. And then we'll come back and have a chat to finish out Yorkie's Florida vacation. Here's Josh Norris in conversation with Bobby and I. All right, welcome into the show. One of our all-time favorites and perhaps the nicest guy to be on the Ottawa Senators. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to see a lot of you play this year, but Josh Norris, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, fellas. Good to see you.
What? I'm going to start.
Wally, the last time I saw him, he was holding a stick up, trying to get a pass on a empty netter.
I knew that was coming too.
It was coming. I had to do it.
I was going to get right to it.
Love you, buddy.
If there's one moment, if I ever have to think of the two of you together or the number 9, it becomes that particular play. So people that don't know, Bobby comes back, returns to his home, I guess the home game after being gone against Vancouver, empty net, about to have a hat trick. Norris is in the middle of the ice calling for the shot. Is that about fair?
True. Yeah, sure. Absolutely true story.
And I still hadn't had a goal yet. So that would have been my first
I just
goal.
don't want you to have your first on an empty netter, man. That's a team guy right there.
Oh my God. That's so funny. I remember after the game, like obviously you scored for your third or whatever. And I went to Chucky and I was like, dude, I think I was calling for the puck when Bobby went to score. And he's like, no way. Like, I was like, yeah, I think I did. And then he told someone, and then you found out, and then I was done. Like, I was toast.
Yeah, we ran with that a little bit, but you know what? Yeah, you don't want number one of 400 or 500 in that net. So we'll call it even, pal.
Yeah, I got to stay healthy for that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. You brought it up about health. Is there an update, or can you? I do know there's a video out on Tuesday of you skating, and DJ Smith had said you've been on the ice prior to that. I guess, is there an update you can give us?
Yeah, I've been skating for probably a few weeks now, and it's going good. I feel better. It's been a slow process, but I felt really good, and I'm happy with where my shoulder's at right now. So just trying to get my confidence back in my shoulder and not have to really think about it. So I'm in a good place. No really timeline yet, but happy to be back in skating.
We can I can attest to this because I broke a lot of upper body injuries. There's nothing worse than when your legs are fine, because they're just like, hey, practice is over, you're gonna hang with the boys a little bit, and you got Sean Donovan just burying you, just absolutely burying you.
Yeah, I joke with Dono. I think he's like still in better shape than half the guys on the team.
The guy's nuts, man. The guy's nuts. Yeah. Still can't stick handle or do anything with a puck, but yeah, it's nice to see him out there.
Can't stick handle, can't shoot, can't think, but does everything else great.
Cannot think. That guy cannot think. I love that. All right.
He's great.
I'm going to send him that clip for you tomorrow.
It's safe to say you can always tell a player's extent of their seriousness of the injury when they leave the game and walk down the tunnel. Because when you left and went down the tunnel, you either threw your helmet or kicked up. You were visibly upset. Did you know right away it was a bad injury?
Yeah, I kind of knew it was something like pretty serious. I didn't necessarily know like the exact extent, but I've had like a similar feeling before. So I was just irritated because I'd gone through some rehab like last year when I was out for about a month or so, and it wasn't malicious, right? Like it was just off a face-off. Nothing really happened. Basically, the doc told me it was just pure strength. The way I was kind of, my shoulder was situated, and then I yanked on it, and he's like, basically, you did it yourself. You're too strong. So had to get myself out of the gym a little bit.
Yeah. I broke a lot of fingers being too strong for sure. Yeah. Tore my triceps. God, some guys are just, good old American boys, too strong for the sport.
Midwestern boys.
Yeah.
This sounds like Doc Chow. So the other thing is, I guess, the frustration level of, and maybe it's not, but you're coming into this season, you got a new deal, you're coming off a very successful year last year. Can you sum up mentally what it's been like?
I mean, at the start, it wasn't great. Like I was actually lucky enough I felt bad for them, but my parents were in town when I got hurt. So I had a few days with them, and that kind of helped me stay like upbeat and positive. And then first couple of weeks were tough. Obviously, you never like being away from the guys and just that whole sort of thing. It just sucks. And especially when the team's not doing great, you want to like be able to be there to help them and contribute. And it just sucks not seeing the team not do well. So that was kind of something that hit me a little bit while I was out, but I'm glad they're playing well again, and I'm doing good mentally. So that's all that matters.
Good. They're good. I mean, I don't think people ever realize how isolating it is when you're out for an extended period of time. Guys are on the road for 10, 12 days, and you're just back there. Is it Jer still running the show? When you're
yeah, Jerry stays back. Yeah, it is pretty isolating because I live by myself. I don't have a girlfriend or anything or a dog, so it does get a little lonely. So I try to spend as much time as the rink as I can, just so that I'm not here all day by myself. And They were just out in California for 10 days. So, I'm like, of course I got to be hurt when they go out west. You know what I mean? Like, that's probably the best trip. So
yeah, it is. Yeah. I've seen a couple Snapchats. Are you just walking around Whole Foods, putting the buy belt?
Yeah, literally. I was losing weight when I was out. I'm like, how is this not possible? You know what I mean? So
you kind of forget to eat, you kind of forget to eat the same way, right? Yeah,
a little bit. Well, because we get fed so well, like they feed us every day at the rink, and then when the team's on the road, they're not feeding us. So then it's like you're making your own food, and it's just not as good. So yeah.
We'll have to get you back on, and I got to hear the best recipes. We'll do that later.
Well,
okay.
And you're like, I'll call you a chef. We've talked about this before, but you always cooking these great meals. Is it tough to cook for yourself?
No, I actually I'm a pretty good cook, but I don't really enjoy cooking. You know what I mean? Like the whole preparation part,
Yes.
and then it takes like an hour and a half to prepare the meal, and then you eat it in like 5 minutes, and then you're just done. And it's like, it's not worth it to me. So I just order in a lot.
A lot of Uber Eats.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's where most of my credit card bill is, just Uber Eats.
I live so far out there, Uber Eats wouldn't even come to my place. So I can't relate at all. And then I live in Idaho. We don't have that either. So legitimately have never once in my life lived anywhere where Uber Eats would go.
That's unfortunate, because that's like a lot of my life. Makes it convenient.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, I got time for Tail of the Tape, brought to you by Renfrew Pro Tape, where we get to know a little bit more about you. As we previously mentioned, 35 goals last season, the most goals in one season since 2011, 2012, and Milan McCulloch had 35. 20, the fewest assists of any Senator to score more than 25 goals in a season. I just found that odd. 18.6, the best shooting percentage in franchise history with more than 50 goals scored. And even though you live alone, you are still considered the best roommate to have around. It was a big poll. I asked everybody.
Best roommate.
Yeah.
You said
everybody says that you were the best roommate. Is that not true? Are they lying to me?
Well, a guy cooks, he's automatically going into the top 5. And
exactly.
None of that, but that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember Brady, and when I lived with Brady and Timmy, my rookie year, they'd just be laying around like sloths, and I'm grinding my ass off in the kitchen. And I'm like, all right, here's dinner, fellas. Like, enjoy. So, no, I'd say I'm a good roommate. I think that's, I'm the best roommate, but I'm a good roommate.
Colin White's a little disappointed.
Are you in Westboro now?
Yeah, kind of in that area.
Yeah. I don't want to give it away, but yeah, fair enough. Yeah, in that area.
Over there somewhere, not necessarily in Westboro, but in the area. Yeah.
Big old Hittenberg guy. Okay, got it.
I don't know. I was there last year.
Oh
my God. Don't get me started about that place. I don't want to throw him under the bus, but
one exit too far, eh?
No, not even that. Just the building itself.
Oh, gotcha.
They're a pain to deal with. So I'm not going to throw the name under the bus, but yeah, just don't live there.
They might be a sponsor. Hold on.
Yeah. Wait a second.
We'll worry about that later.
That's so good. I know you are living single now. Do you miss sometimes having a roommate around?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah. I mean, I like being on my own sometimes, but it's kind of nice to have someone there and just watch a movie or go to dinner or something or whatever. So I don't know. I guess there's pros and cons, but I'd probably say I like living on my own a little bit better. But yeah, I miss my roommates. Yeah.
When you signed your new deal, did you splurge on anything?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It was actually before I signed. Well, because like we were negotiating whatever, and I knew we were getting close, and I like the first car I got, I leased, but I've always like wanted to just have my own car, just do whatever and deck it out. So I bought a BMW X6 M50 and then like wrapped it all, and a guy here actually wrapped it in like a matte black color. So that's it's kind of like my baby. Yeah, I like it.
Very nice.
Not a bad splurge. I don't even know what you signed for. I know it was way too much, but
definitely way too much.
Me too, brother. Me too.
Couple number 9s.
Speaking of which, you called him. If I'm not mistaken, you called Bobby to ask if it was okay to wear number 9. Is that right?
I can't remember if I called him or texted him, but I reached out to him and just whatever. I had like so much respect for Bobby and like played with him for a couple of games and had a ton of fun and tried to steal his hat trick goal. But I remember I texted him and I was like, hey, if I make the team, like, is it okay if I wear number 9? And he's like, yeah, of course, like whatever. Yeah, I think he was like big shoes to fill or something like that.
Yeah. I think we made a joke about it, but I remember seeing you because it was the lockout year, or not the lockout, sorry, the COVID year. When I went to Detroit and you were skating with the boys in Detroit, and I was walking in with Larks and a couple other guys, or maybe walking out, and I just heard Bobby, and I look around and I'm like, who is that guy? And then I couldn't figure out who it was until they told me I could wear number 9. I was like, oh, Josh, what's up, man?
I was still a nobody at that point, and Bobby was big dogging me. So
not at all, man. We were in Plymouth, I think, right?
Yeah,
Maybe?
Plymouth.
Yeah.
Hey, where did you live when you were there?
Bloomfield Hills.
Okay.
But like not that far down. I was God, I wish I remember the cross streets were like right by Oakland Hills, the country club.
Oh yeah, okay.
I mean, legit. I mean, right there.
That's a nice area.
I'll tell you what, I've never done this in my life. One day I was like, I've had enough. This is the most private course in the area. Walked over, had my bag on my shoulder and said, hey, I'm going to play for the Red Wings this year. Can I play? And the guy goes, yeah, man. Walked right on. I was like, I'll pay for everything. And he just said, just go right ahead. It was incredible. I've never done that before, but I did it there. I did. Cause I was looking at the course all the time. I drove past it on Maple, I think it is, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't, I'm done. I have to go see it. And I just literally walked over and went on the course. It was pretty cool.
Do you like the course?
Nah.
Really?
No, not that great a course. You know what I liked was Larkin's course. What is it? Old Orchard
Lake. Yeah, I just joined there actually.
Did you really?
Yeah. I got in like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, you know Larks, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Not too well, but
we'll get you hooked up. I mean, do you text them back and forth? Or you guys got each other's number?
Of course, yeah.
Great,
that's a good course.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, he's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm available anytime, guys.
Get back in the mix, man.
You're here, Wally.
Their dad's trip is this week in Ottawa. Does it is your dad coming? I don't know are you on the trip? I know it's obviously tough with being injured, but did you manage to get yourself on the plane?
Yeah, I got the okay from Pierre, and he said as long as I go on the ice with the team, then you can come. So I was like, yep, absolutely, I'll go on the ice with the team. So yeah, my dad's flying in tonight, and we'll head to Dallas tomorrow, and then I'm excited. I'm more excited for him, I think, to just kind of be around the team and meet all the other dads and have a couple pops, I'm sure. So it'll be exciting for them.
Is this your first one?
Yeah. The dads get after a little bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You kidding me? We got a good group of dads. Like a lot of funny guys, a few guys that used to play and stuff. So I'm sure they'll have a good time.
Yeah, I remember.
A few. It's like it's almost like a full team.
Is it really?
There's a lot. Yeah.
I remember because the problem with the dad's trip is because you're always used to what the the 2x2 first class seats, so you always got your buddy next to you or whatever. But when the dad's trip, you get that mainline plane. It's like a regular plane.
Yeah.
And I remember Zach Smith and I didn't have the dads on a trip one time, so we go all the way to the back. We're like, we'll just let the guys double up, do their thing with their dads, whatever. And back, long time ago at this point. So we're sitting in the back, and we got there's a couple cocktails flowing, and then just over the top comes Chucky's dad, and then Will Lannon's dad. And they're like, what are the old guys doing here? Are there not any drinks going? And Smitty just reaches down, pulls a bottle of wine out and starts topping them off. He's like, God, it's nice to know there's some throwback players in this league. And I was like, yeah, some of us like it a little too much apparently, but yeah. So the dad sat with the guys with no dads in the back, and just a couple throwback players having a good time.
Yeah. I don't know how many we have. I'd say we have at least half a dozen.
It's got to be
more.
Walt, Drake, you,
Drake, me, Casty.
Oh yeah. I'm missing somebody. There's somebody else. Anyway, there is a bunch. So It's an interesting group. It's really fun. Do you know? Do they have any plans?
I don't know. Actually, they sent the itinerary out today. I haven't had a chance to read it, but I don't know. A couple dinners, nothing crazy.
So it's in Nashville, which means Bobby is now obligated to take everybody out, since he's one of the highest paid Ottawa Senators or cap hit players.
Just a touch too far to drive to, boys. Sorry. Just a touch. I might come up to we just talked about it off the air, but I might come up and go see Josh if he's going to be standing in the stands. I might go see him and his dad.
Bobby, I was actually there this summer. I was there in, I think May. So like just right after the season ended.
Were you with the boys at Troubadour?
Yeah.
Did you play Troubadour?
No, we didn't play Troubadour. We played golf
Tennessee. Yeah. Well, I was supposed to take you guys out to Troubadour, but then I got out of town at the last minute. But yeah. I mean, you guys were way out there in Kingston Springs.
But
we
had a blast though.
We'll get you around. You gotta make that trip again because there's so much good golf here. I'm at the Grove. Troubadour is right across the street. We'll get you around.
The Grove. Is that who owns that? Is that?
That's not a Discovery property. You're thinking of Troubadour. Yeah. I don't know who owns the Grove. I live in the Grove. I have no idea who owns it.
Doesn't Michael Jordan have a course called the Grove or something?
Oh yeah. That one's in Florida. Yeah. We have an incredible playoffs of the Corn Ferry Tour is here this year. So it's an incredible golf course. Getzlaff's down here, Perros, a bunch of hockey guys. So if you come down, let me know.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll probably be back for sure.
Always welcome, buddy.
If I can go back to the ice for a minute, I know I'm not as much fun, is the feel, and I know it's tough when we talk about being isolated, but the feeling around this group as you went into this year, and even still with so many young, talented stars, especially up front in the top six, including Claude Giroux, and I'll include him as being young for the moment. What's it like to be around that group?
Like before I got hurt or like right now?
Yeah, just there's such a great feeling of what's potentially ahead for the Ottawa Senators. When you're in the lineup, another year for Tim Stützle, Claude Giroux continues to play well. Like there is a bona fide sense that this thing will get better.
Yeah, I think it will. The doors will be open at some point. I don't know when that will be, but like I touched on earlier, we're playing a lot better right now. And I think the step that Brady's taken this year also is I think he looks like a completely different player than last year, and just looks so confident. And even because I'm able to watch the games from up top now, so I can see everything like more clearly, and you notice things that you wouldn't notice while you're on the ice. And just like his ability to hold on to the puck down low, and like he's cutting back a lot more and creating more space for himself, and he's making a lot of plays, and he's scoring right now, obviously, and just his ability to fight. Like when he fought Trouba the other night, I was at dinner or whatever, and the game was on, and I was just like, oh my, like this guy is crazy, like it was Friday night, MSG, like he's fighting another captain. I just thought it was really cool. But yeah, obviously he's on another level. Giroux has been incredible. I was really excited to kind of like meet him this year and get to know him more. And he's a character, and he's playing at a really high level too. And obviously all of our other young guys too. It's a fun group to be a part of right now. Like I said, I wish we were kind of in a better spot right now, but it is what it is. And the guys are, they're grinding and they're trying their hardest, and hopefully they'll break it open here soon.
Is that the best game you've seen Brady Tkachuk play, that game in MSG?
Yeah, I would say it's hard to find another game where he's been more dominant. So yeah, that was impressive.
Would you take a clapper like Claude Giroux on a breakaway in the San Jose game?
No, are you kidding me? I don't have the nuts to do that. Guys, freaking! I went up to him after the game. I'm like, dude, you're crazy. Like, who thinks of doing that? It reminded me of, I think Malkin did it like 10 years ago. Yeah. It might have been against Philly or something.
Yeah, I think it was, but it's way harder for a lefty, I think, than a righty.
Mm-hmm.
Way harder.
Because goalies catch.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I was a righty, man.
No.
The only reason, like, if I was a righty and I had a shootout, I'd come down the left side, kind of get into the hash mark, kind of like fake backhand quickly, pushed my forehand high glove.
Yeah. That was kind of my go-to, is kind of freeze him, get to that side for a second. As soon as he bites, you're coming back. And a lot of times I could slide it in. That was kind of the move for sure. But I get that. But lefties have the backhand 5-hole that we don't have. We have no chance at that. And I like Brady scored the other night. No right-handed guy can do that. So I mean, give and take, right?
Yeah, true. That's the only reason I wish I was ready though. Shootouts.
Is it harder? Is it actually, you know what? I never really thought about this, but I guess for you guys to go glove side high, you're going against the grain a little more. Because for me, I could go down there all the time and just, I like coming. I scored against my first shootout. I scored against Montreal. I came down the right side and cut in, and then went back across glove side. Back across the grain.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. That's a hard shot, man. It
is
a hard save, but a hard shot to have too.
Yeah, but if you get a goalie that's kind of playing deep, like I remember, I think I went I went third. So when guys were going in front of me, I was looking, I think Price was in it. I was looking to see like how far out he was, and he was staying like really far in his net. Yeah. So I was like, as soon as you got in close, he would crouch down, and I was like, oh, it's easy, like just right over his shoulder.
Yeah, that was kind of my thing too. Excuse me. I always wanted to go second or third. And I remember the year that we were really good in the shootout, Turris always went first, and I would always I would not even watch Turry or what he would do. I would just watch what the goalie was doing. Yeah. Like if he's out more or if he's back. And then it changed everything for me, because the moment I saw that goalie was out, that opened up 5-hole and low glove, and then a move too.
Yeah.
But as soon as he's playing deep, I'm like, oh man, it takes options away. I don't like a goalie that plays deep in the net at all.
Bobby, I wish I had a set of hands like you. I would have been so money in the shootout.
You'd have made a couple bucks, eh? I think you're fine. Wall, you want to come back in here one more time?
No, I enjoy listening. It's always fun to listen to players talk shop that intricately, because you guys are the only ones that can understand and appreciate it. And so I just sit and listen. That stuff is great. And it reminded me while I was sitting there, you on the iPad. So the iPads are a lot more accessible than they ever were. I'm curious if I remember, you chucked one last year, this year. How many iPads maybe have you damaged in the last couple of years?
I remember that one because I got a memo from the league, or like a message saying like, hey, like you can't be throwing these iPads, like, and I was like, you know what, fair enough. Like that was overboard. Yeah, some of those iPads take some damage. Honestly, I like him a lot, but I think they're almost a distraction sometimes, because you get so caught up in like your last shift, and then you're not even like paying attention to the game, and then it's like, oh, your name gets called and you just fucking chuck the iPad and you're like going, so
yeah. I obviously played before the iPad and after the iPad. I think video is killing our game. I really do.
I do too.
I think video has got a very, very good place for power play, penalty kill systems, and you can see what stuff's happening, but it has no business being on the bench. I don't get it. Because you come down and you're like, oh, I should have shot high glove. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. What, like, you can have the same shot next shift and it doesn't change anything.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm with you.
I don't want to keep you much longer. I do have a question about one player. I want to know, what is your initial reaction when you hear the name Alex DeBrincat?
Oh, I love Brinksy. He's awesome. I got to know him a little bit over the summer because he's from Michigan, and he texted me once and was like, wanted to skate, and I was like, okay. And I thought it was going to be like a decent sized group, and I get out there and it's literally just me and him for like 45 minutes. And poor goalie, man. I remember it wasn't like a super high level goalie, but I don't think it would have mattered who was in there. Like, we were just doing scoring competitions and he scored 80% of his shots. Like, I was like, this guy is nuts. So that was kind of my first look at Brinksy, like in person, because I hadn't known him that well. And but yeah, I love him. He loves coming to the rink. He's always in a good mood, and he's got a cute baby too, Archie. So I like seeing him around the rink too.
Are you a babysitter at all? Have you gotten to that point where people are asking you to take care of the kids?
No one's asked me, but selfishly, I think I'd be a good sitter. I really do.
I was always curious.
Any of the wives are watching this, I'll watch the kids if you guys aren't able to.
I was curious about Brinksy because like from what I had seen beforehand, you got yourself, Brady, Bath, Whitey until he left, but a couple, you know, like really cool group of guys, Chabby, obviously. But I remember when we talked about bringing guys when they talked about bringing guys in, I wasn't part of the conversation, obviously, but and I was like, I don't know that you want to upset the apple cart in any way by bringing in another scorer, because you got a couple guys doing this, but it kind of feels like he's just kind of assimilated well, and you know, not too big for himself, just kind of, you know, struggled to score early, but kind of finding it. But just I mean, he kept a good head and brought some good shit to the room.
Yeah, he's great in the room. Like there's like all the guys love him, and like I said, he just loves hockey, and he's I think he'll be a big part of our team going forward, obviously, and hopefully he wants to be here for a long time. That's obviously up to him and kind of how the rest of the season goes. But yeah, and the last like 5-10 games, I thought he's turned it on, and you know, he's not scoring as much as he'd probably like to, but I mean, every game he's getting 2-3 grade A scoring chances. So hopefully one time he can just score 2 or 3 and it just blows the doors off. So
yeah, that's kind of what you're hoping for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was just hoping that you were going to do the meow, is what I was hoping for.
Oh no, never again. I don't know what I was thinking.
It's
I was just excited
because,
huh?
I missed something. I don't know what's going on.
There's
No, you don't
video
want to hear it.
of, we'll have to hopefully put it in the show and get a copyright strike against this, of the starting, I think it's the starting lineup, and all of a sudden Josh, when they say Alex DeBrincat does a meow.
On the left side, we got the cat.
And so it's the best. Anyway, I was hoping he would do it again,
I was excited because we were playing in Newfoundland, which is like where my dad grew up, and I had a ton of family and friends there, so I was all fired up. And then DJ gave me the starting lineup, so I just wasn't even thinking, and that's kind of what came out. So yeah,
it's so
tough.
good.
Yeah.
There's
Can't
two
do
other
that in Ottawa. It's gonna catch on.
there's two other viral videos before I let you go. One is, do you think DJ Smith knows what number Drake Batherson is?
Yeah, I saw that. That was funny. I mean, I guess I don't know what was going on there. I got no comment.
It's so everybody makes a mistake. That's all. The other one is just on Monday, you were leaving the rink, and Brady's doing an interview, and you dropped soup behind him.
Yeah, and I got it all over his pants. I felt bad for him. Yeah, I don't know. I was carrying I had my pasta in one hand, and then I had my salad in the other, and I had my soup on top of it. And I walked out, and Brady was doing an interview. So I was like, shit, do I wait here or do I go behind him? And then as soon as I stopped, the soup I started to feel it slip, and I'm like, oh boy. And it just all over the floor.
No good end in sight on that one, eh?
Yeah. Oh man, I'm a klutz.
It's so good. I appreciate it. What's the one thing about you? You are genuine and honest and real. And that's one of the things that really people love about you. And I think that's one of the things that really sets you apart. It's fun to watch you be open like that.
Thanks, Wally. Thanks for the nice words.
Yeah, I mean, I've obviously, especially towards the latter stages, I always kind of veered towards the young American guys. So I always appreciated you in the room for the short period of time I had you, and it was awesome, man. And
yeah, a
lot of good things for you coming, man. Get back, get healthy, and I can't wait to chirp you if you go into a slump, because this is what I'm getting paid to do now.
All right, I'll remember that.
All right, deal. And maybe I'll see you Saturday. I'll let you know.
Yeah, let me know. I'd love to see it. Like I said, my dad would love to meet you too. So
yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Thanks,
cool.
Josh. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for coming.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And as always, appreciate Josh Norris stopping by. He's a lot of fun, Bobby. And I do feel bad he's alone. Yeah. We should get him a dog or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Put something else on his plate. Just, trying to get back, but he's got a lot of time on his own, and he's young. I mean, he's fine. And that's such a tight team. I'm sure he's at somebody's house every night, but when the guys are on the road, it's a very, very isolating thing. So doing well, though. It sounds like I talked to him yesterday. I'm going to go see him this weekend when they come down. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. The Nashville trip was always my favorite, but we'll get into that another day. Yorkie, The reason I think you had a bad back in Florida was probably because you spent it just riding around in your cart all day. Maybe you should have
I
walked.
was in the cart. I had the cart, rented the hotel bicycles with the with the pink wheels. Oh, these things are sick though. They don't instead of taking cabs, you take these little things. They're called, I thought they were called crickets, but they're called circuits. They're like golf carts with roofs on them. Here's me cruising, trying to catch. Oh, let's see. Little ring of the bell there. Cruising down the boulevard. I know how to ride in style, fellas.
Was that thing motorized, or
bastard.
did you actually have to grind it out? I've never been to this place. What is that? The elbow room?
Yeah, I heard
It's
pretty
new
good.
there. It's just new.
It's pretty good. It's pretty. It's amazing though. For
there you go.
Oh yeah, little Yingling over there. Can't get those here in Canada. Love that beer. So you know what's amazing with the Elbow Room? It's one of those places. It's such a shithole, but it's everybody goes there. And if you go there at night, which I didn't venture in because it's I think it's called the Elbow Room because you're elbow to friggin' elbow with everybody in there. You can't move. But
It's very
great spot.
accurate.
Yeah. Some good times had in there by many teams that have visited the FL area. So no, great trip, fellas. Can't wait to go back.
Yeah, if you guys, if you look closely to that picture of you, Yorkie, you can see my name's right there on that stool from all my time there over the years.
Yeah, let's see. Alex, can we zoom in there and see that? I think there's a number 9 on there.
No. Oh boy. So good.
Yeah.
All right, boys. No. We'll get out of here for the weekend. I'm off to a hockey tournament in Waterloo, so that'll be exciting with 8 a.m. games.
Oh, tough. All right.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yeah. So we'll see you Monday. Big guest coming up next week. We'll give you details on that later. But anyway, we will see you guys on Monday. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching.